Alright folks, welcome back. This is Balatro every day, and today I want to open this discussion of what could a higher stake look like. Currently we have 8 levels of difficulty going up to purple, orange, gold stake. What would a ninth stake look like? Or we've also said in the past we aren't super excited about the blue stake. Blue stake -1 discard is stinky in a particular kind of way. Having the -1 discard makes it more difficult to get the higher ranking hands like straights, flushes, full houses, and so this is very damaging for run diversity. What that means is once we get to blue stake and higher, you mostly stop playing straights. Not that you can't, just mostly it's unsafe enough that you kind of avoid playing straights. Even flushes can be somewhat unreliable, and so if we wanted to get rid of blue stake, we'd have to replace it with something else. And so one thought I had is we already have the green stake and the purple stake, which increase the scoring requirements. So all of the numbers go up faster. You need to score more points in order to survive. So one way you could introduce another higher stake is you could just have another one that has higher scoring requirements. I don't necessarily think that's the right way to go. An interesting thing about the purple stake and the green stake scaling here, ante 1 is the same as before. The end game for the green stake, the final boss is twice as big as white stake. On purple stake, the final boss is again twice as big, so 4 times as big compared to white stake. But ante 1 is the same. Ante 2 is not that much bigger compared to white stake, and so there's this kind of smooth introduction into these higher scoring requirements. So maybe another way that you can handle this, I had the idea, what if on a higher stake, ante 9 was required, or ante 10 was required in order to get the win. Like, how many of these runs on gold stake do we have where we just barely beat ante 8, and then we can't survive any further than that? We would lose in the next round, or the next ante, or something like that. So if you require all runs to go to ante 10, then that is some additional challenge, some additional consideration for survival. So that's what I want to think about today. If we play on, let's do gold stake, red deck, how can we set up not just an ante 8 run, but maybe an ante 10 run? Also, if you do introduce additional antes, you can have things like, okay, the ante 8 bosses, what if the ante 8 bosses show up again in ante 9 or again in ante 10? You have the repeat of the finisher type bosses. Like if you have the verdant leaf in ante 8 and you have to sell one of your jokers, can you still fight another different final boss in ante 9 or ante 10 or something like that? All right. In the first round here, we don't see the investment tag. We do get hearts, and I think it's enough hearts that we can one-shot here. Okay. We could take Zany Joker. Normally I'm not super excited about Zany Joker, but since we are playing on the red deck, the extra discard does help. You can try to get 3 of a kind, or probably more likely we could get full houses in the short term as kind of a survival plan. We could check the Buffoon pack instead. I think Zany Joker is safe enough. I'm going to do that. There is some consideration for taking Mercury cards. We said on the higher stakes, okay, typically it degenerates towards playing pairs since it's more difficult to get the higher ranking hands. So maybe I should take the Mercury card now, but I kind of want to save my money for Overstock if I can. Let's go next. Okay, I have 2s, which could be part of 3 of a kind, but I think I'd rather get higher ranking cards. Like we can go for 3 7s. We actually don't even need the 3 of a kind or the full house. We could have just played 2 hands, could have just played 2 flushes or straights. I'm gonna try one more time trying to get either an ace or a 7. We have 4 outs, which admittedly is not that many draws. Bummer. Alright. Took us 3 hands instead of what could have been 2 hands if we played 2 flushes. So not a super huge loss there. We don't have enough money for overstock. We could take Shoot the Moon. Holographic, pretty good this early. Rental, pretty scary this early. I think I'm just gonna take the bean and probably sell it. Let's go next. So I have 3 2s. I could do 3 2s and 2 9s, and with Zany Joker that's plenty. So don't need the bean. Let's go ahead and ship it. When we're thinking about setting up longer runs, you want to be, the first thing that you want to be cautious about is you want to be cautious about Eternals. And so taking too many Eternals and you don't have enough real estate, you don't have enough Joker slots to score enough points, enough Joker slots to later on replace with X-Molt Jokers. But maybe Grimbo is the type of thing that we want to be doing. Usually the type of thing that will get the job done, at least get Ante 8 accomplished. Go next. So I could play a flush, I could play a straight. We have a straight. And I think we can win with a pair of 5s. Maybe. I'm not super confident, so I'm going to ship it now rather than playing the ace high. Okay, great. Perfect. Now I slightly regret not taking that Mercury card. We could square up. That's a very safe short-term plan. I like that idea. So we could take the Buffoon pack first. We could choose not to take the Buffoon pack. I'm going to take the Buffoon pack. Maybe I can get something that's not a rental. Red card is great. Cartomancer is great. Juggler is foil. I think this is tough here. All of these are great. I think the strongest short-term play is to take the Juggler for the foil. Cartomancer is a money generator, or at least it's a value generator. With the foil now, with Grimbo here, we can just win with high card. That'll give me the opportunity to square up if I want to. I can grow my square Joker, and then that'll be a very safe plan. Even though we're paying the rental fee, worth it. All right, Temperance for $8. Probably we get rid of Zany Joker now. And go next. All right, now it doesn't matter what we play. $400 for that one. 500. A little bit less than 600. Oh, bummer. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to work on maxing out interest so that we can pay for our square Joker. We could take a hologram, as another rental is pretty scary to me. Though with the spectral pack here, pretty good chance that the hologram grows. Blue Seal Ectoplasm. Blue Seal probably. Go Blue Seal Queen, could go Blue Seal 9. I think I'm gonna go Queen. So if I am thinking of setting up a longer run, then maybe what I want to do is I want to go for a Photograph and a Chad line. That's the easiest, right? Because those are the commons. There are definitely other ways that you can achieve the same results, but that's typically what we're looking for from the commons. And so maybe if that's the line, maybe I do the blue seal on the face card on the queen. Maybe. So given that, do we still take the hologram? Or is it too early for the hologram? I think as a rental, it's too early. If I got the hologram, let's say round 9 instead of round 5, I would take a rental hologram. I think right now I want this. I want to do rental square. Let's just go next. All right, let's play the debuff card because it's less points. Kinda. Huh. The reason why Grimbo is $4 common instead of Bust, which is the $6 version, is you can't discard to find your gold cards. You can't discard to find your blue seals. So even though we have a blue seal, we're not necessarily going to be able to draw it. Brainstorm as a rental? Absolutely not. Probably what this does is it either copies Grimbo and then that's a ×2, or it copies Square Joker and that's a ×2. So don't need that. Save our money for interest. Let's go next. Alright, so the build is not super exciting yet, and that's okay, that happens sometimes. We just need to get our early game in order, get our income in order. Alright, we don't need Abstract Joker, let's go next. We need 1,500 per hand in order to beat the boss, 6,000 points. Okay. Boss reroll. If I have Square Joker, I don't super care about most bosses, so I think I'm just gonna go next. $33. We could take the mail-in rebate. It would make Grimbo sad, but it would make me very happy. I want this extra hand. Maybe one more round. Are we at 9,000 points yet? Take the extra hand because the extra hand's an extra $1. Go next. I also don't have to play high card. I could play pairs. Oh yeah, we got plenty of points. And we got the blue seal. So now we get to decide, do we want to go high card or do we want to go pairs? And I think I'm okay with going high card. We get less chips from the planet cards. But we do have Square Joker. Go next. $11 rounds and we haven't done anything yet. Obviously, another way to make money is by being conservative with your hands. Try to win each round in one hand or two hands or something like that and have hands left over. Instead of relying purely on interest for money, you can use your extra hands for money. Square Joker, or sorry, Green Joker, you trade money for molt, right? You play a hand, you play extra hands, you spend an extra $1, you get an extra +1 molt. Most of the time that's good enough, but it is a little bit disappointing, the exchange rate, $1 for 1 molt. What's nice about having the combination of both Square Joker and Green Joker together is now for each hand that I play, I get not just the +1 mult, but I also get the chips to go with it. I get both for the hands that I'm already spending, which is nice. We can take a free roll here. Could take ramen as a ×2. Do we need this? Because it's very expensive. I think I'm going to decide that we don't need this yet. And just go next. No repeat hand types. So I will start with a high card ace. 5,000 points. I could play a pair and then we would be looking for 2 pair. I could play the straight just to get it over with. Yeah, let's play the straight just to be safe. And then we can draw some other different pair. Maybe play the 2 pair. This is one of the things that's great about Square Joker specifically. So on one hand, it's only 100 chips. Okay, but because it's 100 chips, I can play high card and pair and 2 pair, and all of these are worth the same number of points against this particular boss that says no repeat hand types. Pretty convenient. You take Faceless Joker and then trade 1 mult for $5 every round. Is possibly worth it. I wouldn't say it's entirely not worth it. Though, we could do different. Could do mail and rebate. This one's not a rental. This one I could be interested in. Let's give that a try. And the rental will take us down to 28 bucks. So let's go next. And then the next shop we should be able to crack open some booster packs. Okay, rebate on 2s. Let's play a bunch of hands and draw 2s first. Okay. We can play 1 more, right? It's close. I don't think we can play 1 more. So let's discard the extra ace and the extra king. All right. Nice. Actually calculated. Could take Cartomancer, could take a Buffoon Pack. Now we have money for clearance sale. Let's go clearance sale first. Buffoon Pack, I'm looking for some kind of X-Mult. Could take a Spaceman. Spaceman is good in the short term for the particular build that we're on. Spamming the high card. Spaceman is kind of like having a second Square Joker. Play 4 high card, get 1 upgrade. More worth it if you're playing pairs compared to high card, and we could play pairs instead of high card. I think I'm gonna say no to this as a rental. There's a Cartomancer in the shop. Could take Cartomancer instead of the Clown. We could swap out the Juggler. I think I'm just gonna skip here. I'm gonna take my free roll. Could take Mercury. I'm a believer in the high card plan. Tower helps, Emperor doesn't help. Hierophant helps. I think if I have the rebate, I feel safe opening the booster pack. And then we should be able to get enough money for maxed out interest. Let's go next. You don't need to skip for 20 bucks. All right, rebate on 5s. Okay. Rebate on 5s. Okay, so that's 8,000. I can do this. Let's go Hierophant on the aces. So ace high for 9,000. Okay. Discard the 1-5. I can make a stone card. I could have discarded another 5. I realize now. I should have discarded another 5. Oh well. Here we go. Ship it. Sometimes it just happens. Okay, fortune teller is not it. Could take Michelle here. What are we doing on? Do I want to swap the juggler for Michelle? I could get rid of the free roll, take Michelle here. We should probably open the Arcana pack. Looking for money. If not, probably the wheel instead of the chariot. The chariot not super relevant for our high card plan currently, but could be useful for a long-term plan if you wanted to go to ante 10. Standard pack. We could pick up another blue seal. Okay. This boss could be expensive. I'm slightly concerned about that. So maybe let's pick up Michelle here so we have more points, and then maybe we can beat the boss in fewer cards. So let's play the stone. I'm not going to square up because I don't think it's worth like 20 bucks. We will just survive. We should discard the 7 and then ship it. All right, next round 60,000. We should have no problem. Could take a buffoon pack. Bosses face down after played. Yeah. Banner, fortune teller, nope. Standard pack. Could take another blue seal instead of a gold card. Okay, go next. Rebate on 5s. So let's start squaring up here. 14,000. So the difference between one hand and the next one, so first one was like 14,700 and then now 15,500. It went up by about 700 points. Good to know. Okay. We can discard the 5s. We don't have any more 5s. We could discard looking for a blue seal. So it costs us 1 molt on green joker to discard, but then we gain a molt from a blue seal. I think it's worth it. Well, worth it if we get it. Bummer. We also get the extra chips from the blue seal. So, yeah, it seems worth it. 20,000 for that one when we play the stone card and we play the bonus ace. So the next round, 90,000. I think we might have some trouble. We can spin the wheel. Immolate's perfect. Huge. We could go Arcana. If we're going to reroll, we should reroll first. Could take Blue Joker for a little bit more points. 90,000 we can do as long as we have 15,000 per hand. If we do 5 hands times 15,000, no, that's not correct. We need 18,000 per hand, which I think we have. Cool for another wheel? Sure. Bummer. I'll go one more. Alright. So, rebate on kings. Okay, I need the stone card. And then we're fine. Yep. There's the stone card. Rebate on kings. Okay. Now we discard the kings. We can place ace high. Okay. If we were on pairs instead of high card, maybe it wouldn't be as close. Alright, ante 6, round 17 with these jokers does not fill me with confidence necessarily. Need a little bit more gas. Abstract joker probably does the thing. So I could get rid of the mail-in rebate, especially if this boss is going to make my cards face down anyway. And then standard pack. Blue seal is helpful in the long term. This fancy ace could be helpful in the short term. I'm going to go with the slightly long-term plan, blue seal. And I think I don't take this celestial pack because the rental takes me down to 27 bucks. Let's go next. So I need to find a way to avoid pairs. My pairs are not worth as many points. Okay. Maybe something like this. Okay. Maybe something like this. Okay. I'm just gonna ship one. That'll guarantee I get the blue seal. Or it'll guarantee I get the planet card. We don't square up, but that's okay. Okay, the next round's only 120,000, so we should be fine for the next round. Don't need Habsies. Wheel of Fortune or a stone card. We can wheel. Bummer. Don't need any of those. I want reroll surplus, but we gotta save our money first. Boss's base, chips and mold halved. This, we have a little bit protection in the form of green joker and square joker. Let's go next. Alright, so ship it. Maybe I'm not supposed to play the stone card. Maybe the stone card is too strong. Maybe I'm supposed to play pair instead of high card in order to stall. Like, what if we play a pair of eights here? The next hand wins. We have many blue seals. We can try to get one more. And then ship it. Totally worth it. Alright, Michelle is disabled. That's okay. Needed to replace that anyway. We take a stone joker. We can start with a buffoon pack. Supernova. That doubles our molt. That's a ×2 now. Nice. Okay. Could use death to copy a blue seal. Could use the hung man here. I think I would rather hang him. If you do end up with the photograph in the future, you would prefer to remove cards rather than copy the blue seals. We already have enough blue seals, presumably. Let's go next. All right, now we're fine. Now we're chilling. So 60,000 per hand. If I want to stall, I can play 2 pair. I can play a single pair. Got the blue seals. Let's go ahead and ship the high card. Ooh, we don't get to square up. I'm okay with that. I could use a discard. I could have played one of the blue seals. Okay, it's fine. The boss says base chips and molds halved. We could take delayed gratification now. Delayed gratification instead of this perishable. That seems reasonable. And then I still buy the voucher. We go down to 20 bucks, so we lose $1 of interest, but we get cheaper rerolls in the future. All right. Now, no wasted hands. Okay. Okay. Maybe we save the stone card. Jack high. That's it. Okay, 200,000 points there. That's enough to beat the next 2 rounds. Boss forces a card to be selected. We could go back in time if we need more time to cook. We could take the Chad, though we don't really have anything to re-trigger. Not yet, anyway, but we could play the glass card. Probably worth it now to get rid of delayed gratification. I know we only had it for 1 round. I think the Chad is worth taking. You could also get rid of the juggler. Maybe we don't need the juggler. 2 standard packs. Looking for a gold seal. Blue is fine. One more time for a gold seal. Yes. All right, let's go next. So now, queen high, hen high, another queen. This doesn't win. Then we play another one. Alright, so that's 65,000 per hand, which means in the next round, 300,000 we can do if we play all 5 hands. It'll be closer to 70,000 per hand after upgrades. Okay. Celestial packs aren't super important if we're playing high card, because even if you do get the Pluto cards, it's not that much of a boost. Buffoon pack probably more important. Yeah, Spaceman not as a rental, so kind of in the short term here, probably better than delayed gratification. But if I want to go slightly longer, maybe we take the business card for the money. We can probably afford a reroll here. And go next. All right. Give me that gold seal king. Okay. Jack. So there's 75,000. Nice. A little bit too much. That's okay. So 75,000 four times or 5 times. That's not 400, is it? Right. Is it? 70,000 times 5 is 33,000. Sorry, 350,000. Seems like we're a little bit short, but then we play a glass card and then it's fine. Could take $7, could spin the wheel. Never lucky. I think as long as we hit the one glass card, then we're fine. Alright, so one thing we could do, we could go back in time. That would mean we basically guarantee win against the boss. Then we have more time to cook. So, suppose we do beat this boss. Are we scaling fast enough to win the next ante 9? Maybe not. I wanna run this experiment. So we said, okay, what if for one of the higher stakes things, you have ante 8 is one of these finisher bosses, okay, and then afterward you have another finisher boss. Can you beat them both back to back? Ante 8 and then ante 9. So let's kind of simulate that here by going back in time. We lose a hand, and so one extra hand would be 25% more points. Can we gain 25% more points by one additional ante of scaling? Grimbo, Supernova, Square Joker, probably. Alright, we play the face card. Banes. We lose the glass card. Well, we didn't need the glass card, but we lose the blue seal. This hand wins. It's worth it to dig for the blue seal. Maybe keep the face card. Okay. I'm happy with this. Gold seal gives us money. Okay, Violet Vessel. Yep. How do we beat the Violet Vessel? That's a good question. Let's find out. Plutonium. Hierophant. So I want the Arcana pack we can reroll first. We have not gotten any X-Molt yet. Maybe we take a soul here instead of the business card. Square Joker is still more than the base amount of chips that we get for the high card, so Square Joker is more than a ×2. Okay. Chiclets. Well, I guess that's one way of beating the Violet Vessel. Now I guess this is a... What is it? This is a ×4 now? This is our X-Molt. Well, that's boring. Hot take. Chiclets is boring. Oh well. We can discard. I'm gonna go Hierophant on the kings, but then I'm gonna discard them. One more time. And then ship it. Okay. Banner, no. Pool with plutonium. Sure. I don't want to take this because we're going to lose... I guess we're already losing interest. Could take a Hierophant. Hierophant is plus 60 chips. Let's go next. Could skip for 60 bucks, or we can scale our jokers. Plus 70 on Grimbo, 75 on the Supernova. Nice. The stone card here is really powerful with the Chad. The next hand wins, so let's discard. All right. Ship it. So we lose 3 Molt on Green Joker from discarding, but we gain 2 planet cards, so that's worth it. Here, Plutonium. Okay, I can use Death to make another Queen. We can reroll. Go next. Okay. We lose unless we get a glass card. There we go, we got the glass card. I guess the bonus cards help, the extra chips. Okay, actually we're fine. We're fine. All right, that's it. So we beat Ante 8. We beat 2 finisher bosses. We beat the Cerulean Bell that forces a card to be discarded, or sorry, forces a card to be selected we actually don't care about with our particular build. And then so that happens sometimes with the Ante 8 bosses. Depending on what build you're on, you get a boss that you don't actually care about. So it's kind of interesting, nice to have another chance to get an interesting boss. So you have the one boss you don't care about, and then you get another different boss. And so if it's always 2 bosses out of 5 total, you have a much higher chance of having an interesting boss. So like Violet Vessel is an interesting challenge, or the Crimson Heart that debuffs a random joker is an interesting challenge. The Cerulean Bell can be an interesting challenge depending on what build you're on. Cerulean Bell forcing a card to be selected is really tough if you're playing straights or some other kind of hand where you actually care about what cards you're playing, basically. I thought this was a pretty good case study in terms of what does the scaling look like. So how do the scaling numbers in the game look like? How much growth do you need from one round to the next in order to keep pace without any X-Molt, without any huge spikes? So kind of a smooth enough progression, a just enough progression is 1 plus Molt Joker scaling plus Molt on its own is not enough, but 2 scalars together is probably enough. So it could be 2 Molt scalars, or it could be a Molt scalar plus a Chips scalar is even better, because then you have this synergy plus Molt and then times plus Chips. So the question is now, okay, how much further can we go with this same build, with this same setup? Can we beat Ante 9 now? Ante 9 with presumably higher scoring requirements. So if we go use the plutonium, if we go next, if we go Ante 9 is now 460,000 points is what we just did. And then can we also beat the next round, 700,000 points? Forget about the boss. Can we even get 700,000 points? And then also the wall is kind of spooky. And so maybe when you are playing on the higher stakes, we said with the -1 discard, very commonly this pushes you towards playing pairs or 2-pair, 2-pair or lower, right? But if you play these lower ranking hands, with this particular run, we've been barely scraping by, right? We've been barely passing each round, and so when we get to the higher antes and the scaling rate jumps up, then maybe pairs are not going to be able to keep pace. Maybe two pairs not going to be able to keep pace, unless you get some kind of repeatable X mult. If you get the Chad plus some glass cards, the Chad plus the photograph, or maybe you get Constellation and Hologram, and those scaling X-Molt jokers can be enough X-Molt in order for you to beat ante 9, but maybe not ante 10. And so maybe if that's the higher stake goal, if that's the new challenge, that you have to beat ante 9 every time, you have to beat ante 10 every time, or something like that, maybe then it pushes you towards, okay, I can start out doing pairs, but I have to think about, I need to end on something higher. I need to end on 3 of a kind. I need to end on 4 of a kind, or something like that. And I think that's interesting. An interesting challenge. Maybe you play pairs less if you know you need more points in the end game. Or you definitely can't get there with high card. Alright. Acknowledging all of this, how do we survive right now? So, Burnt Joker is great in the short term, but I want some kind of X-Mult, I guess. Maybe I could look for a glass card in here. Stone card probably isn't that exciting anymore. I think I'm going to pass on the stone card and just focus on trying to draw my glass cards. Sock and Buskin works if we get the photograph exactly. But for now, maybe we don't take it. Maybe we just go next. We can play the king. We can discard first. And we probably sell the Burnt Joker, actually, just to avoid paying the rental fee. Alright, we can play some bonus cards, which help a little bit. We can play a stone card, which helps a little bit. Should have put the stone card in front. Forgot about that. We can play ace high. We don't need the glass card yet. Okay. Celestial pack. If we don't get plutonium, we just take whatever's highest, I guess. So Arcana, we could reroll once. Could take a fist. It's not super important, but it's only a couple bucks. Tower's okay. Again, not super important. I can stone the 2 now. I could wait on the stone card. I could stone this king. I'm gonna go ahead and stone now, and let's make some molt cards or bonus cards. I think bonus cards are slightly better. If we have 2 sources of molt effectively, then maybe we want extra chips. Go next. I think we can do this with the glass card. I forgot to put the stones in front again. Kind of spooky. My plan is to just do the 1 glass card. Yeah, we can get there with just 1 glass. Okay, so that's 180,000. So we can almost get there without the glass, but I'm gonna play the glass. I should have kept the 2. Ship it. Okay. Now, how do we beat the wall? We don't, right? Not with this build. And that's kind of, when we're playing high card, we kind of expect that. We expect the Violet Vessel beats us, we expect the wall beats us. That's okay. This is expected. We could spin the wheel here, or more plutonium. Bummer. Showman doesn't help. Duo, see, this is why you play pairs instead of high card. Because we could have done seeing double, ×2 if you have a club. Duo, ×2 if you have a pair. And we could almost do this, like, if you play the pair, you don't get all of these chips from the leveled up high card, but you still get all of the chips from the square joker. And then so this number of chips, and then ×2. The pair would be about the same as the high card. The difference here is we have Supernova. Supernova also for the high card. So then this is not good enough. Parking, no. Emperor, glass card, no. That's it, we're broke. So I will try to draw the glass cards, but I don't have very high hopes here. The fist doesn't matter if we already have what is almost 200 molt. So I'm gonna ship it. One more time. All right. Here's a question. If this wasn't the wall, so the wall is extra large. What does extra large mean? Extra large means it's twice as big as it would normally be. If this were 900,000, a little bit less than a million, instead of 1.8 million, would we be able to survive 900,000? Right? If it were 460 doubled, it would be 920,000, I think it would be. Would we be able to do it if this were a different boss? I think with the glass cards, the answer is yes. So without the glass card, the answer is a resounding no. All right, ship it. All right, this is the best I can do. And we know it's not good enough. Bummer. Yep. If it weren't the wall, we could have done it. All right. That's going to be it for today. Here are my thoughts. Here are my thoughts on what could a higher stake look like? What could a different blue stake look like? I kind of like this idea of just one additional ante. One extra ante, one extra finisher boss. Take care, everyone.